You probably know Shure because it makes one of the most iconic microphones on YouTube, the SM7B. But what if the company made a teeny tiny microphone for mobile creators? Well, it has. It's called the MV88 USB-C, and it's what I'm using to speak to you on right now. But is it the SM7B of mobiles? Let's find out. As the name suggests, this is not a wireless microphone system, so it's not like a DJI mic or a Rode wireless kit. This is plug and play directly into your phone. And it also doesn't really pretend to be a shotgun microphone. It really is really small. So it's also not really competing with those sort of mobile shotgun microphones either. In fact, there's actually quite a lot going on here. It's claiming to do a lot of things. So there's like a band mode, there's a vocal mode, there's a singing mode, there's a flat mode for Foley recording, stereo, mono. There's a fairly comprehensive app. So this is potentially a lot more versatile. But with that versatility, what I wanted to know is, does that come at the expense of basic functionality for mobile creators? What's really clear is that the MV88 definitely is portable. It's really small and compact, and for that I was kind of instantly drawn to it. It also comes with this somewhat adorable egg-shaped carry case, which is a nice departure from Shure's usual sort of roll-out serious business guy carrying situation. So it is definitely made for mobile creators. I just don't know yet whether vlogging and content creation is its primary thing. All right, how about we get this thing and test it outside? You can't really see if I point over my head. We've got a lighthouse, which came to visit for the day because I'm always curious with these microphones as to how they sound when you get a little bit further away from them, because if I come up really close, I know for a fact this microphone is really good. I have no doubt in Shure's ability to make a really good microphone. What is the bigger problem is physics, basically, because once you start getting further away, they don't always sound as good. All right, so I'm actually back here in my office studio, and I've just been reviewing the footage that you just saw with me out at the lighthouse. Now, a couple of notes. So wind does seem to be a little bit of a challenge for this thing. So, yep, I was on the coast and it's a fairly, I wouldn't say extreme challenge. It wasn't a hugely windy day, but there was a breeze. So I knew that there was going to be some wind, but the amount of sound that it picked up was quite noticeable. Now, the second problem, Shure has in its app, it's something called auto denoiser. I forget the exact name that they call it. It's their form of noise reduction. And if you listen back to my intro and also the outside footage, you'll be able to tell that that is on. And when you hear it in the outside footage that you just saw with the lighthouse, you can tell because it's actually creating noise reduction on the wind noise. So I don't think it was a fair test. So I've come here, it's a lot calmer, a little bit brighter, and a lot less wind. And I've triple checked that real-time noise reduction is off, so we're getting authentic sound in a vlogging situation. I've also got Insta360 Ace Pro 2 right here to the side, and to that I have connected the Rode wireless micro as well, because I think it's also going to be worthwhile doing a comparison of what it sounds like with the Shure MV88 connected to the phone and the Rode wireless micro connected to the lapel. Now, this is obviously a specific kit for vlogging, whereas I believe the MV88 is more of a general purpose microphone. So it'll be interesting to see what the difference in the audio is, and obviously that's going to decide whether it's the microphone for you if you're going to look for it in a vlogging scenario. Now, if you don't want it as a vlogging microphone, you want it as a general purpose microphone, and we're going to do some more tests on that in a little bit, especially for noise reduction, because I want to give that a fair shake in a situation where it's appropriate. So for now, for an outside test, I think hopefully this should be a fair shake.
Dear customer, your meal has arrived.
All right, so let's talk about the real-time noise reduction. So I'm here in a cafe. It's not a busy cafe at the moment, so plenty of empty tables, but there is deliberately sat as near as I can to the coffee machine because she sounds like she's just about to make a brew. And this is what the MV88 sounds like without the real-time denoiser applied. So you can hear some ambient noise, you can hear the clatter of cutlery on saucers, that kind of thing, typical sort of cafe noises. Now I'm going to pause this recording and I'm going to start it again with the real-time noise reduction activated, which I have to pause the video here because I have to go into the Shure app to do that, and then we're going to see what it sounds like when with the real-time noise reduction is applied. Right, so I've got my coffee and I've actually activated the real-time denoiser, which is what Shure calls it. It doesn't call it a noise reduction, at least according to the app. So it's a real-time denoiser, and this is what it sounds like with that activated. So hopefully you can tell there's a difference in the ambient noise, whether you can hear the coffee machine, which isn't running at the moment, but maybe if we have a little bit of luck, you might make a coffee while we're talking. And also, I've been talking pretty smoothly, pretty sort of not loudly the whole time I'm recording this. So possibly we're going to see a difference in how much my voice comes forward in this recording as well. Oh, I wanted to add, there's something that's slightly bothering me about this microphone, is that the base of it, the part where the USB pin is that you connect to your phone, for some reason it's slightly off center. I don't really know why. It doesn't sort of indicate. I would have thought if it's going on your phone, you want something to be pretty central and nice even Stevens in the middle, but it isn't. So interesting design choice there, and I haven't quite figured out if there's a purpose to it yet. So now I think is a good time to look at that app, because this is where the microphone might actually get a little bit more interesting to you, especially if you're not necessarily focused on vlogging. Shure has two mobile apps, which has Motive Audio and Motive Video, so no prizes for guessing what each of those apps does. But right here I'm looking at the Motive Audio app, and this is what I think is interesting for audio recorders or musicians, journalists, interviewers, podcasters, that kind of thing, because this effectively turns your phone into a microphone. You can use your phone storage to record your audio. You can hold your phone like a microphone. You can get up close and record sounds in sort of high quality. And within the app, you have a bunch of settings for that. And I actually think this is a really good use for this product. So you have things like auto level, gain control, a whole bunch of different modes like speech mode, singing mode. There's a flat mode, acoustic guitar mode, and a band mode. And all of these are doing a sort of changing the sort of width, whether it's recording in mono, stereo, and how much sound it's trying to focus on at one time, depending on your needs. And then below this is when you have real-time denoiser, which is the thing that I had a problem with earlier. I've got it on now because I want to give it another shake in this situation. You have a high-pass filter, which is really, really good if you have a booming voice or a certain characteristic to your voice. You need to cut off a little bit of the low end. And then an equalizer. This is particularly good, obviously, if you're recording music. So if you want to sort of bring up hi-hats, drum sounds, or have just a little bit more control over what this thing is recording, then you can 100% do it. And the rest of the app is pretty self-explanatory. There's nothing particularly exciting below that. You can record directly within the app. So this is a functional app. It's not just for settings. You can record audios, share them, edit them, that kind of thing. Now the video app, I won't do a tour of that one. It's pretty much the same thing, but obviously with video. But what it does mean is that you can see your controls for your microphone within the same app that you're recording on, which is something you can't do with your iPhone's native camera app. So if it's important to you to be able to access those settings while you're recording video, then I would recommend using Shure's Motive app, even if it's not exactly the one you want for recording all of your video. It's a kind of a little bit of you have to weigh up your options. So the apps are pretty good, and I think that they actually expand the functionality of this beyond whether this can be a creative microphone or not, because at this point you may have sort of figured out, I don't necessarily think vlogging is its strong point. I think this is good for turning your phone into a microphone, and it does have some video options, particularly if you're working on close-up video or something where the quality of the audio is important, but I just think at a distance or outside it's not its strong suit for vlogging. Prove me wrong. Buy one of these, use it, and tell me that I've been doing it wrong. But I think this is a really good microphone, and it can do vlogging style videos, but it's not its strongest point.